Hello and welcome to Casey's Late Night. Prevention, protection, and general well-being gathering of the full moon in September of 2016. And actually, it turns out that this is a lunar eclipse. And if you think about the wording, solar and lunar, so solar eclipse having more to do with the sun, and lunar eclipse having more to do with the moon, so astrologically speaking, this was a pretty significant full moon, and I did watch a few videos on it. Anyway, it is like 12:30 and I can't sleep, and I woke up with this kind of feeling of like anger at myself, self-hatred, and things that excited me the most when I woke up. Listen to my voice, it's not something to be happy about either. It's all croaky and clogged. Anyway, things that make me excited at the moment, this is what I wrote a little while ago. Making a YouTube channel with a lot of videos and getting good at recording is pretty exciting. Getting good at what I commit to is pretty exciting. So that's me being like beating myself up for being a failure, overcoming addictions, me feeling out of control there. Things that make me excited right now are both numbness and dealing with harsh emotions. So that's like me kind of being like, okay, well, I really want to numb out, but I really also hate myself for getting out of control. So there's kind of a paradox dilemma. And things that make me excited, being totally ready for the marathon. So I'm like on top of everything, I'm trying to find purpose for all of this, excuse me, I have to try this throat thing. So on top of everything, the reason that I'm kind of allowing myself to give in to what is called the automatic self is because I was finding that making too many changes at once was like exhausting my willpower. I haven't been able to keep up with everything. So it's made me choose one thing to stay committed to at a time. So exercise, running, getting the marathon done, and knowing I can get at least one marathon done is good. And maybe after like my second marathon or getting all this past me, knowing that I'm capable of doing it, becoming a marathon runner would be great. And once you know what just occurred to me is that if I don't pick something to stick to, I will continue to try to find things to quit and then choose to be good at. So yes, marathoning is one thing. I am particularly interested in triathlon, so maybe focusing on triathlon. The question is, how far do I go to getting, letting myself go in order to focus on the marathon? When is it going to become easy to make other changes? When is this athleticism going to be current, when does the athletic part of me become an automatic part of me? So the mystery there also is causing me a lot of stress. I'm like, is it even worth it? Is it even worth giving up all these addictions just to make myself a good athlete? It makes sense in the end, but let me just stick with me. Something else that makes me really excited is getting high without getting high with drugs. So me just like, once again, just wanting a quick fix, wanting to feel good, not feeling great, beating myself up. Something else that makes me excited is the feeling of control. I'm just like, wow, yeah, that makes me feel pretty excited to think about the prospect of feeling in control. When I was raw and I was running and I was doing yoga every day and like being good is what they call it, which is kind of a shame to even associate myself with that crowd of people. Anyway, there's a little bit of self-hatred right there. yeah, when I was feeling good, I I really wasn't at the same time. I felt really like strained. And I'm just like, on one hand, I'm like really proud of myself for keeping this up. And I'm looking around at everyone at my job and I'm like, I'm the healthiest one here. Blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, I'm like knowing from a distance that I'm just like gonna lose control, you know, because it's too much, too fast, too soon. So with the marathon, kind of like continuing to push through towards it is kind of like me sticking with something and still making changes. So finding a little bit of control there, I guess. Something else that makes me excited at the moment is expressing rage and hatred. And gosh, I've been reading this really psychological book, and like as I wrote this, I'm like, what does it mean? Is it because of my father? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, expressing rage and hatred, and yeah, what else is there really to say about that? Apart from wanting to express and bring people in here with me, or me getting out of myself, maybe me trying to either get out of myself or me trying to bring people in with me. And my higher self knows that I need to focus on maybe bringing myself out of myself a little bit more. It would help. Then again, there are some times when I am angry because I'm thinking of other people too much. So, but at this moment, it's because I'm all wrapped up inside my head, so the expression really is there. Anyway, I think expressing that is more about communicating and connecting with other people. Oh yeah, I'm like completely naked right now. I totally forgot to mention that. Well, I was sleeping, and I'm not gonna get dressed. It's 12:30 at night. Come on. Come on. Something else that makes me excited right now is cutting, yelling. Yes, actual cutting. Sometimes I get the urge to do that. You know, I didn't even like it when I was doing it, but, you know, the self-destruction is something I really enjoy. And, yeah, just being self-destructive. Yelling at Courtney is something else that I wrote down next to that one. So, once again, bringing someone else into the self-destructive mode. Being mean to my dog. So, like, kicking in, like, why are you making me take you outside? And, like, whew, dangerous. And then random. So then, next thing on the list is making the swelling go down in my face and hands. So when you don't eat raw, when you are not a raw foodist and you eat a lot of cooked food and a lot of salt, your body swells. One, because of the effort of digesting everything and the salt, all the salt, and I'm dehydrated and blah, 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 blah. So that is just another reminder of me not feeling in control of my life, not feeling healthy enough, and actually the similarities between feeling healthy and feeling in control. So that is an interesting intersection there. Also, with icing my hands, it is good because I have been massaging a lot in my wrists. My wrists are sore. Oops. And then the last thing I wrote, which I totally forgot about, was the last things that make me excited. The last thing that I wrote is feeling connected or heard. So there you go. And then I went on to make a list about my achievements, because I'm just like, well, focusing on all this bullshit really is like just bringing me down and bringing everyone down. I'd be like a black pit of sorrow. Jack White's not happy. I'm not happy. The dog's not happy. Gotta focus on something else. So I'm just gonna read off the list and let's get through it. So deciding on a hairstyle, and my achievements in ways that I have control. So that's the thing that I wrote. Focusing on what I do have control over. Deciding on a hairstyle is an achievement for me, you know. I've decided that I've had so many different hairstyles, letting it grow long, cutting it short, letting it grow long, cutting it short, like keep going back and forth and back and forth. And not knowing if I want to look masculine, do I want to look feminine, do I want to just stick to the practicality, is that a word? Practicality of it, or do I want to go a whole lot feminine because when my hair is really long, it's really beautiful because I have really thick hair, regardless of my diet. I just have really nice hair, and I'm not being vain. It's nice and it's easy to take care of. But do I want to go all out femme? Do I want to be practical about it? Because I've always had hair confidence, you know, and I don't really care what length it is because I always find a way to enjoy my hair. So I really like hair, and I guess it is kind of a way to express yourself too. So, but something I've never done before is choosing one hairstyle and sticking with it for a long period of time, like years. It's like a scary concept. I'm like, so I have to choose one person to be for years, but is my hairstyle really who I am? And I just watched a video today about people who cut their hair after a long time and how they identify with it. So what do I want to identify? And I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I want something that's like something that would look good on a very pretty man, but also something that would look good on a very masculine woman, I guess, because this is too short. You know, I don't want to be associated with women that are butch, because I don't really think that I'm butch. I don't want to be associated with a transgender man, I guess, even though, you know, they are really sexy. So an effeminate man is kind of the look I was going for. And so I'm just like, okay, so like, kind of like, a short haircut of a female, but a long haircut for a man. So an androgynous look, and I didn't really know who to model that after. And I just like, it just like popped into my head one day, and I'm just like, Kurt Cobain. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna look just like him. Because his hair is really cool, and then like it like combines, you know, this might stay or go, but it combines with the idea that you don't have to really use soap in your hair if you can learn how to care for your hair without actually washing it, which is something I'm really interested in. It's a whole part of the whole minimalist thing, and you know, if I didn't wash my hair, it would have that heavy look, like that heavy kind of like waxy look that it did before, because I have tried the no poo thing before. I'd look just like Kurt Cobain, so scruffy. I like the scruffy look. And another one of my idols is Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. So I'm a cross between Shaggy, Kurt Cobain, and every transgender man alive. So that is just a little spiff about hair. I love hair. Another achievement, sticking to the running. Something really good, something good that I've never done before. I say my hands, like what I'm doing right now, you can't see, but there's a bowl over here that was filled with ice, now it's just really cold water. Drinking tea, which is chamomile, no caffeine, thank you very much. Journaling at night rather than just choosing a better method rather than self-destruction. Finally finishing decorating the apartment, which, you know, I know it's not actually done, but I hung the records. I'll check this shit out. See those? There's more. I hung the records. And then I hung Jack White, and I hung the guitars, and like, we had a total full moon ritual tonight, playing the bongos. I saged the place. We just had some construction happening in the bathroom because we had a leak, and it's just like all new, all exciting. I've been reading a lot, and when I say reading, I mean listening to audiobooks when I run, and I've been knocking out the books left and right. And not only am I reading, but I'm reading healthy books, reading books about habit and procrastination and obstacles being the way and practice. And actually, mostly I've been reading about habit, like really just like diving into learning about brain chemistry and like why habits occur, and like I'm going to continue to learn about these things because I think the information will come in handy now and later in life. Another really sweet thing I wrote on the list is supporting myself financially, and actually having this apartment, like living on my own, is like a big thing. I didn't think that would happen. Luckily, I got evicted from my other house, which is kind of embarrassing to admit, but if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. So, yay, life for the little push and kicking my ass. And it would have happened anyway, but that was just kind of the push I needed, so thank God. Making an effort to be as conscious as possible. And then I guess that has to do with the reading and the me, you know, letting people know that I know I'm aware of the patterns, and I'm at least conscious of the fact that there is a pattern happening, and that I want to correct it. And you know, I don't think that I am a very conscious person, and I think that alone is very conscious of me. But yeah, being more and more conscious, and I don't think being conscious is necessarily something to be achieved. I think being conscious is something that is an action. I think consciousness is an action that you take in the present moment to recognize yourself. Like, consciousness is like being awake, being aware, and like if you, like, of course, like if you meditated or, you know, became some sort of enlightened being, you'd be becoming, I guess, a larger source of consciousness. But there is ways to be conscious throughout the day, and, you know, maintaining a rudimentary consciousness without having to be enlightened. Like, you don't have to be enlightened to be conscious. What else? Blah, 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 blah. Making an effort to self-improve, not self-destroy, which is something I have confused the two definitions. Not smoking weed. It's been almost 2 years now since I've smoked weed, and I miss it. I do. Let me tell you what I don't miss. I don't miss all the bullshit that came with smoking weed. A successful full moon ritual. It was a good time. I did have a beer or two, but I didn't get drunk, so that was good. It was just kind of just like loose drinking beer. Do I want to be drinking beer? No, but at this time, my automatic self says drinking beer is the way to relax. So I guess that's how that goes. That's probably part of the shame, you know, allowing my automatic self to go that far and drink beer. You know, it's like, eesh, that's something you really don't like letting yourself do. Maybe part of all this is allowing myself to do these things. Allowing myself to maybe have coffee or drink beer, as long as I'm being conscious of it. I don't know, because usually I beat the shit out of myself for these kind of situations. That might even be why I'm awake right now. I wake up and I'm just like, fuck, why'd I do that? Fuck, why'd I do that? But now I'm moving on. Choosing not to beat myself up is a good achievement. Finding rudimentary self-love, such as these lists, this video, this tea. I have a blackboard in my apartment that I like to write goals on. Rudimentary self-love. And appreciating the process. And before I explain this one, I'll say the next one. accepting a new version of myself that needs patience. I've never chosen to be patient with myself before. I always just assumed that I could muscle my way through it and kind of beat myself down. If I just like hammered into it as hard as I could, it could get done, but the results aren't lasting. You know, like I could bang out 13 miles in one day without training for it. Would I be able to do it the next week? No, I would not. Nor would I want to. You know what? That's probably, anatomically not true, but, I'm kind of just being honest from a, whatever, you know what I mean. Yeah, so, part of this whole thing, and part of this full moon, I feel like is realizing that I have to accept this new part of me that needs patience. It's part of living with someone who has autism. It's part of being an adult, is being patient with yourself, is accepting that, there's a baby that is you, that is living in the same consciousness as you are, that the adult version of yourself has to take care of and has to take care of correctly. I think about raising kids all the time. How would I do it? How would I do it differently than my parents? How would I do it the same as my parents? I think my parents were really good parents. The only thing that I would change would be probably the consistency and just stability things that I didn't really have. But no, my parents are really good people. Anyway, and getting rid of most of them. I'm just going to move on. There's so much more to say on that topic, but I'm just going to move on. Getting rid of most of my clothes. Not really an accomplishment. I don't really have much connection to clothes. You can always get more clothes. But upon becoming a minimalist, or trying to, I realized angrily that I do get attached to material things. No reason. My baseball mitt. I don't fucking play softball anymore. I shouldn't even be keeping it, but I tried to get rid of it, and it's wow, this is not easy for me. This represents a lot of things from my childhood. What else did I try to get rid of? Some guitars I know I don't need. I have trouble getting rid of them, because they're just in case items. They do motivate me to actually play guitar, though, so I guess that's a good thing there. What else do I have trouble getting rid of? Things that other people have given me are really hard to get rid of. So here I was, thinking I was such a badass because I, can get rid of clothes here and there, and, not really give a shit about most items, but then I'm just, throwing that away, and it's, stuck to my hand, and I was fuck, I'm human, this sucks. And I guess this whole process is just, realizing how human I am. So that's embarrassing. But very vulnerable and very strong. So that's good right there. Dating someone for over a year, and even though we both were kind of just desperately thrusting ourselves not only into this relationship but into this partnership and this roommate situation and this life altering combustion of a relationship that we both have, and I could have weaseled my way out of it, I've weaseled my way out of many painful relationships, but this one I've had to stick through. And let me tell you, every day that I stick through it, it makes it much more worth it. I've never really felt this comfortable around someone who was not my family, and I feel very secure and safe with this person, even though it's only been a year. So, yeah. Training my dog, and I am very lax about this also, especially now that I'm just kind of realizing how fucked I am for when I was being raw and being good. I was making all these commitments to myself, and now I'm in this situation, I'm the automatic self person. I'm just why did I make those commitments? I'm having a really hard time following through with them. So that is another source of stress. I'm just like, I haven't been playing guitar as much because I come home and I'm just like, I'm gonna let myself do whatever I want because I want to make sure I run tomorrow. And my dog doesn't really like to be trained sometimes, so and I hate seeing him unhappy, so I'm gonna let him walk around, and he's a very good dog anyway. Basically what I'm teaching him is like high level obedience, so. But sometimes he doesn't like to have the collar on, and he doesn't, his electric collar, and he doesn't like to always be following orders and working, and like, but you know, there's the consistency factor, and like, just talking about this right now is stressing me out. I was like, why would I commit to that? Why would I commit to that? So I guess the divide between good Casey and bad Casey, there's a lot of friction there, and I feel like there's a lot of self-hate and frustration that comes from there. I'm just like, why can't I change now? Why can't I change now? Why can't I change now? And it's a matter of how can I alter, this is the big question, how can I alter my life in a way that allows me to get all of this stuff done? Or what can I sacrifice from my good life to balance out with my bad life? My diet? Sure. Like I can not kick my ass so much in the dietary field so I can accomplish running and guitar playing and stuff, but what is something else that is from good Casey that I can give to bad Casey so there will be some sort of leveling out? What is something else I can use that is enjoyable or fun to me that would make my life seem worth living? Because when I'm kicking my ass all the time, I just don't feel like my life is worth living. Yes, I feel in control, but I feel suffocated. So that's the big question. It's like, how can I give myself instant gratification daily? I'm gonna write that down real quick. Instant gratification. And I'll make that list in a minute, and I'll come back to it. It's kind of funny because I just want to finish this list. I'll come back, don't worry. And achievement, and I ran a half marathon, so that was really good. I have gotten tattoos removed already, and that leads me to my next one, is following through with decisions. So over a year ago, I decided to join the military, and since then I've been getting tattoos removed. I've been running, and like, it's kind of cool because I was not ready mentally to join the Army a year ago, and my goal is to become mentally ready to join the Army, and like these tattoos are kind of like preparing me for the Army. It's like, I'm kind of glad I have tattoos that needed removed, because like, I don't think I would have been ready to join at that moment. Anyway, ways to instantly gratify myself. Coffee. Beer. Online shopping. Facebook. It's a good one. So basically, this list is something that I can work into my schedule that I have now that might encourage me to do other things. So I'm just like, well, if I'm gonna drink coffee and beer, allow myself to online shop and use Facebook, I should also be able to practice guitar and train my dog. Does that make sense? I'm compromising with myself. And then once all of these things become a habit, I focus on my diet later. Because, yeah. So this is kind of the balance I've been looking for after a half hour talking to myself. The balance I've been looking for is allowing myself to be human so that I can progress in a human way. Like, I'll make another list. Ultimate Casey. And that will be the best possible version of myself. The exact person that I want to be, the most perfect version I can think of myself. So, I mean, do you want to hear it? I mean, so, raw, vegan, obviously. Triathlete, obviously. Kurt Cobain. So that, I guess, would involve both music and hairstyle. It's kind of hilarious. A full sleeve, so that just means getting, some more tattoos done. I won't write that one down. That's just kind of a given. I'll write it. Full sleeve. College degree. I'll put S in parentheses, college degree or degrees. Career based on degree as mentioned above. Having a routine and a schedule. I'll write consistency. Vulnerable. I want to be more vulnerable, more emotionally available. Emotionally available. This ultimate self has friends. Confidence. I don't need to be like the social butterfly or whatever, but, I'd like to have some friends. What else? Military experience. And with that, part of the reason I'm joining the military is because I really want to earn self-respect for myself. So, self-respect. Self-love. And I'd like to be an author. And it's kind of been one of those things that I'm choosing to do because it's something I've wanted to do since I was a kid. So, being an author, artist, I'll put in parentheses musician, but that branches out to any kind of art, really. I'm not bad at painting either, or drawing. It's abstract, meaning that it's what I make of it, so I do it for fun. Fuck you. YouTuber. And that doesn't mean like I have a zillion fans, it just means that I have videos that are available to people to connect with me. Connecting with others daily. Maybe it doesn't have to be through YouTube. I'll draw an equivalent line between these two these two things. So I don't have to have a YouTube channel if I am able to connect with others daily without it. So And I'm definitely nearing the end of this video, so it's okay. Where do I want to live? Live. In supportive environment. It's hard for me to know what that actually looks like at this moment, but all I know is that I want to live in a supportive environment. Excuse me. I know my throat's clearing up because it's itchy. What else? So basically that's like a rough outline of the person I want to be. I just have to write it down. Whew! Got the chills. So magical. Anyway, yeah, I feel a lot better, especially after making this list in particular. And I really appreciate you listening to this, and whoever you are so amazing for being here. So I hope you got something out of this. I know I did. Anyway, I love you. I hope we both get some sleep. Alright, bye.